How did left to right win out in terms of the directionality of writing systems? This is a great question, and to answer it, we first have to address the fact that writing systems are thieves and hoarders. It's better to think of them as systems of conventions that have been held over for a really long time and across multiple languages. For example, the letter A makes the sound that it does and is generally in the first position in alphabets because of the Phoenician alphabet from about 3,000 years ago, and probably even longer than that. And we use periods and commas the way we do today because a 6th century Spanish theologian standardized an ancient Greek practice from the 3rd century BC. Basically, ancient Greek was written like this, with no spaces, no formatting, no punctuation, and a librarian called Aristophanes of Byzantium decided that to facilitate reading out loud, it would be good to have some marks to indicate where does the reader pause. And these became the punctuation marks that stuck around and are still in use today. And this kind of stickiness of writing convention applies to the direction as well. Phoenician was written right to left, and as ancient Greek pilfered most of its letters from the Phoenician alphabet, there are surviving early ancient Greek texts that are written right to left. But by the period that we call classical Greece, left to right writing had taken hold completely, and in 403 BC, it was officially codified as the correct direction. And virtually all systems of writing that evolved from ancient Greek, or that were formed through respect for ancient Greek as a language of prestige, write from left to right. For example, old Germanic languages were written in runes, which could be written right to left or left to right. But due to Christianization, the accepted literary language of Latin became entrenched, along with its writing system and its directionality from left to right. And although nobody knows for sure exactly how this came to pass, there are some practical considerations that are important to note. Specifically, the technology used to write. Chiseling in stone, for example, might be easier to do going from one direction to the other due to a dominant hand. The evolution of alphabets that write top to bottom has often been suggested to be a product of the mechanical needs of writing with a brush on scrolls. So though there's no smoking gun per se, the practical mechanics of the process of writing have influenced systems of orthography. For example, the curly cursive nature of scripts used in languages like Tamil and Javanese and Burmese is often attributed to the process of carving into palm leaves. So left to right won out simply because of the age-old intractability of that's how it's done. And it actually makes me a little bit mad, because in ancient Greek there was another option. It was called boustrophodon. It means as the ox turns, and it refers to a technique of writing wherein alternate lines go in opposite directions. For example, here, the first line goes left to right, but then the second line goes right to left, and the right to left characters are mirrored. And I don't know if it's my ADHD brain or my massive nerd brain, but I just think this is so cool. And I so wish that we were all doing this instead of left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right.